Way back in the old days, Byker was a square mile of back-to-back soot-blackened terraces with a skyline of smoky chimneys. People had naught but their hopes and dreams. My local picture house, the Bambra, was a place of dreams, with queue on the block to buy a ticket, just to escape reality. It showed that many cowboy films were nicknamed it the Ranch. Cowboys were heroes. We wanted to be like them, riding imaginary horses on a fantasy biker range. Saturday, best day of the week. I leapt out of bed. A big slice of jam and bread for breakfast, a cup of hot cocoa, followed by a loud burp. Me mum shouts, "Greedy nout, you think you were never fed?" I ducked because I knew there was a right hook coming. A quick wash in the kitchen sink and off out the back door. Me pockets were empty, but I didn't care. Sky was blue and me tummy was full. I had something money couldn't buy. A vivid imagination. A truly wonderful thing to have. I skipped down the back stairs two at a time, full of the joys of spring. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. It was going to be a wonderful day. I had no idea what was going to happen when I stepped out in the back lane, mind. I nearly fell flat on me face. Me legs buckled under us. What seemed like the weight of the world hit us on me back. Knocked the wind out of us. A powerful arm locked round me neck. Legs wrapped round me waist. There was no escape. Me attacker spoke. "Howdy, kidder." I was a bit sarcastic. "Howdy, Humphrey." I named the intruder Humphrey because he was hanging onto me back like the hump on a camel. Me humour drained when the hump says, "Gotcha, knuckle nose." Wait, there was only one person in Byker ever called us that. Big Ginger Roy, the worst bully in the East End of Newcastle. Doesn't call us knuckle nose for nout. It was his big bony knuckles that shaped me nose that way. Spread it all over me face the day he punched us. One of these days, I'd get even. One of these days, pigs might fly. Big Roy lived in a dream world. Seen that many cowboy films, he thought he actually was a cowboy. He lived the life of his western hero, naturally, his namesake Roy Rogers, a singing cowboy. He didn't just sort out the baddies, played his guitar and he sang along as he did so. "Congratulations, knuckle nose," said Roy. "You are it." Me heart sank. I knew what he meant. An imaginary horse was good enough for most kids, but not for Roy. He wanted a real, life, breathing thing. I was his horse. It was rumoured Roy considered getting a real horse, but his parents said there was no horses coming into their house. So the next best thing, yep, a real-life kid, given a piggyback ride. Any hapless kid he could catch. Big for his age, but what he lacked in speed he made up for in cunning. He'd sneak up behind and pounce. Today's hapless, unsuspecting victim just happened to be me. No escape. Like it or not, today I was Roy's chosen steed. It was a way of life back then. Bullies ruled the roost. "Hit the trail," the big cowboy shouted while slapping the rump. "Giddy up, Trigger," he drawled in an American accent. With me legs bowed, me back bent, I set off at a gallop. Clippity-clop, clippity-clop. He was waving his imaginary hat in the air. Yippee-yay! Mrs. Evans' tomcat almost had kittens as we galloped past. It was hard work. Roy burst into song. My four-legged friend, he'll never let you down. He sang with such feeling, nearly brought a tear to me eye. He's honest and faithful right up to the end. I wasn't honest and faithful. I was already hatching a plan in me head. I'd play along and be a faithful steed, but then I'd catch him off guard, drop him like a sack of coal. That wonderful 1, 2, 3, four-legged friend. The song finished at the top of the lane. So began my day as a horse. Mine, not just any old horse. Trigger, the smartest horse in the West. Head for them there hills. What hills? Not many hills in Byker. Why, them there hills? He pointed at the tip. I suppose the red ash and the shale heaps could be classed as hills, if you let your imagination flow. Our lives were just one big fantasy. It was the only way to escape the reality of the chimneys that turned even the bluest of skies a murky grey. In Roy's world, we were in the prairies of the Wild West with cactuses and sunshine. Using me braces as reins, Roy took left. Oh, we're going the long way round. It's going to be a long day. The rider was bigger than the horse, and I was the horse. Luckily, I was used to carrying big bags of coal up Byker Bank, 6pence a time, so I was stronger than I looked, both in body and mind. And Roy was far lighter and less lumpy and a bit more comfortable than Cole. The daft thing was, it wasn't hard to imagine that I was in the horse's shoes, because my boots were hobnailed. Yippee-yay! He yelled as the sparks flew from the cobbles. My heart was pounding, adrenaline kicked in. We rode out of Byker into the fantasy technicolor of the Wild West. Aye, head held high, legs riding high, 2 rode as 1 at full gallop. He was laughing out loud, I was laughing too. I mean, who would want me as a horse? I look more like a donkey. Did my acceptance make me as ridiculous as him? Maybe we're all just that little bit dafter than we think. Bouncing on one leg, I took Pot Street corner heading for the main road. Yee-haw! He yelled as an old drunk staggered out the pub, blinking both his eyes. Mouth agape, he stared in disbelief. Yeah, man! He shouted, rubbing his eyes with raggy coat sleeves. Roy was on a roll. He spun me sideways, drew his imaginary 6-gun, and took aim. Pow! Pow! He shot the old-timer between the eyes. He was a gunner. Mind played along by holding his chest and dropping to one knee. Low down, coyote! Roy blew the smoke from his 5-fingered gun and galloped away. Yee-haw! Another outlaw bites the dust. Roy was really in his element. The tram car passed. Follow that stagecoach! Aye, my boots clattered on the cobbles and the steel tram lanes as we followed at a canter. 2 old ladies in the back of the tram looked surprised. Maybe's a bit shocked when Roy took aim and started shooting at them. It's a natural reaction, I suppose. They ducked out of sight. It was hilarious when they popped their heads back up and started firing back with their umbrellas. Roy was startled, dug his feet into us. The bullets were real to him. I needed a second wind to gallop past the tram to safety. We still got a clout from an umbrella though. Perilous times, Byker's Wild East End. We both burst out laughing at the thought of Roy Rogers and Trigger getting a good beating off old Mother Riley. For a short while, we were best friends, but only for a short while. The laughter recharged me batteries. We raced against an old black box of a car. Skinny wheels bounced, its springs twanged as we prepared to overtake. But the old banger made a race of it. It rocked and rolled, but it slowly started to pull away. Coughed and it spluttered into the distance, but gave us a honk of its horn as a victory salute. Why, we lost that race, but Roy was wanting another. This time, he focused on Samson, the ragman's horse. By now, though, Roy was definitely flogging a dead horse. Me chest heaved, me heart pounded, sweat ran down me back. Thirst, fatigue, and an empty tummy brought us back to reality. After an all-time high, an all-time low. Real life kicked in, right where it hurts most, me pride. I didn't have much in life, but pride was, in my small frame, in abundance. I realised I was no horse, not with all the imagination in the world. 2 skinny human legs would never be a match for the 4 powerful legs of a horse. I was emotionally tired and drained. Yes, we'd come to the end of the trail. Like all the good westerns, we were heading off into the sunset. We got to Byker Tip, overlooking the pond, and we stood, I stood, legs shaking. Roy Rogers, the star of the adventure, proudly straddled on me back. This picture was going to end when the singing cowboy sang. Every good western had a song. Roy coughed, wiped a tear from his misty eye, and he began to sing. My 4-legged friend, my 4-legged friend, he'll never let you down. He sang with gusto to Trigger, his horse and his best friend. That was me. I genuinely felt moved. Roy let go of me braces, raised both hands in the air for the grand finale. I could have cried with joy. He's honest and faithful right up to the end, my one. And on 1, I slipped my right arm over my shoulder and grabbed him. 2, dropped down onto one knee. 3, I heaved with all my might. 4-legged friend, Roy, you show him into the very end, kept singing. He went head over heels into the water. I had to laugh, a horse-like laugh, because I was Trigger, the smartest horse in the West. As I galloped home, rider free, I sang yippity-doo-dah, yippity-yay, with true feeling. Yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay. Aye, it had been a wonderful day. Oh, give us a home where the buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies isn't cloudy all day, where the air is pure and the zephyrs so free, and the breezes so balmy and light, that I would not exchange me home on the range for all of your cities so bright. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies isn't cloudy all day.